Echo Research used to take me a week to build, and now I built dozens of DCF models in just one day. And each one of them with a forecast balance sheet that ties out zero formula errors, zero manual fixes. All this with agentic AI and cloud driving all stack of Python and Excel tools. This all gave me a productivity boost I didn't think it was possible. And every model ships with a professional pitch deck at the end. Getting here took me serious time. I had to train the model pattern myself because the analysis I want was complex, not a basic template. I will show you the demo step by step. And yes, I know that for example Cloud Cowork can do a very similar workflow with corporate finance, generate Excel files and get a pitch. But what I usually get is a basic workbook with very little analytical robustness. This is different. This works because Claude runs as three agents in parallel. The architect owns the framework, every formula, linkage, depth schedule, walk regression, and runs a validator that refuses to ship unless the balance sheet ties out across every forecasted year. The analysts handle the research, 10K, MD&A, transcripts, peer data, news. It's more or less 9 steps from research brief to bull base and bear scenarios. And in the end, there's the reporter that builds a deck. It covers the historicals, forecast multiples, football field, all generated automatically from the same model. So there are 3 roles and a hard editing boundaries. And the communication between them is only through a status JSON. The agents take about 15 minutes per company, and I've shipped models across software, hardware, semiconductors, and consumer electronics. So, for example, you can research like Adobe, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and even more in the queue. And it's a junior analyst week of work pulled apart and automated. So you can basically check every company from the SPY and but the system, the team of journalists running all of them. Right now, I'm gonna show you the demo of how it's done and compare with the project I'm doing right now. And here we start. First thing, create a folder for this project here in VS Code and open the Claude Code into it. And before we move on, I'm gonna just show more or less what this model is doing. Yes, here you have the Excel file. This is another model I'm working in. It should get kind of similar results to this one. It's not going to be exactly like this, it's going to be a different model, but my idea is to get something similar to it. So here I have like all the balance sheet, key metrics, the balance sheet. You see everything is matching, working perfectly. Cash flow statement, running by geography. There's a debt schedule according to the maturity and coupon of the company, interest income, schedule, the PPE. I think it's for Apple. And there's like this is the most interesting part are the scenarios, and the idea is that those are like inputs where you put the forecast, and the idea is the other agent, the analyst, he based on his research, he basically choose the inputs here, a DCF, ratio analysis, scenarios, and a sensibility according to each scenario, macro and industry, historical returns, together with the beta and the regression and all the data gotten from the 10K, which are the inputs for the evaluation. And the idea is also later it gives like a pitch deck model, like consulting style. Need to still adjust some things. You're gonna plug your Claude design thing here, and it's gonna build based on the design you choose in Claude. And so yeah, now we can move on, guys. Okay, so let's paste the prompt, and I'm gonna make it available so you can just copy and paste it to your own VS Code. The things, this is the initial thing you do. It's not gonna be the model you want as soon as you do it. Is the starting point, and from that you can keep adjusting itself. Basically, this is the prompt of both agents, the architect and the analyst, that they are both working at the same time. You're gonna know there is this prompt. There are like a lot of verification rules because I really want the balance sheet, everything to match. This is like the priority, so it keeps revising even when you have the both inputs. What is the highlight here? Both agents work in parallel, and each one of them use a different AI model. Right now I want to do things faster, so analyst I'm using the Haiku. Of course, it's gonna it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of more flaws in comparison than you use the Opus 4.7. But if you want to save tokens and you want to do it faster, imagine you need to do a pitch of 20, 30 companies, you use the Haiku. That's what I'm doing here, but you can also change to Opus 4.7 if you really wanna get more deep into it. But it's important for the architect to always use the best AI model because yeah, it's very important that the formatting and the balance sheet matches and everything. So you can use those agents will work in parallel. The idea is like while the researchers make the analysis, the architect is like building the balance sheet, and as soon as the analyst finishes, he's gonna put a file like research.md, and it's gonna put then in the inputs in the Excel data. And yeah, that's basically what it's doing here. And the company I choose an example will be NVIDIA. But as soon as you've done the model, you can just type upload now do for this company, and you don't need to keep pasting again the prompt. Guys, I believe since it's like an empty folder without anything, and it's gonna build a model from scratch, I believe it's gonna take some time. But the next companies you do, it's gonna be a lot faster. Since I'm doing the Haiku for the analyst, I think it's gonna be slightly faster. So yeah, I believe it's gonna be 15 or 20 minutes more or less this to be done. So right now I'm gonna accelerate the video, and in case something interesting pops up here, I'm gonna explain. Okay guys, one interesting thing here, like this is like all the procedures, what it's gonna do. He's preparing the agents, and this is a Python script where it keeps validating, formatting checks and everything. It's very important to have this. And it's creating this file, research.md, so every analyst insights, everything is gonna be in this file here. And this will be the base to get the inputs, because it's gonna be the drivers. So there's gonna be the drivers inputs based on that. And yeah, let's wait. Yep. This is the driver's table. Okay, then these values are ready to hand off. Oh my god, guys, the Haiku is very, very fast. The consensus is extremely fast, guys. If you choose Opus 4.7, it's gonna take a lot more time, but it's gonna get more detailed. And right now, guys, since the analyst finished very fast, right now you're waiting for the architect to finish the balance sheet. So okay, one task where finished, and the architect is still building. So maybe it was not very strategic to use the Haiku. Like we could also use Opus for the task of the analyst, because okay, done fast, but anyway, you have to wait for the other one to finish it. Guys, the architect already finished, and since it finished later than the analyst, after he had all the data, he plugged the research.md that analyst had and put all here, and he changed all the scenarios, and yeah, it's quite nice. Now I believe he's revising. Yeah, he's running that Python script that validate to see if the balance sheets if it's everything fine with it. Okay guys, it's done, and here's like all the report. It produced the Excel file, the MDs, and by the way, all the Cloud Agents MD, they are in another folder. They are not in the project folder itself. And yeah, nice. Okay, he was really far from the analyst. Underscore here, there is sharply from the sell side analyst. That gap is natural. He went a bit far. This is why, like, maybe next time, guys, train with the Opus, because this one I don't think he did like the best analysis possible. Well, let's check the files, but before that, in parallel, I'm gonna put this another prompt here. This is for the deck, and basically you're gonna paste here your cloud skills, your cloud design, or if you don't have, you don't need to put it. I'm putting my cloud design here to build the deck. And while it does it, let's go deep in the files. That's what it produced. 10K income statement, 10K cash flows, macro industry, nice. Operating model, nice. All the forecasts, the active scenario, you see, balance check, everything fine, very nice. All the scenarios tab is not as beautiful as my model, but yeah, it's quite nice. The DCF, okay, the market is getting from macro industry. Page from here is getting the beta, the yield, the tax rate, ratio analysis, historical returns. Okay, not bad. Some small adjustments here need to be made. Yeah, not bad, guys. It's very nice. I see there is like all for the three scenarios, the sensibility for each scenario. Yeah, quite nice. Yeah, I think another interesting thing that can be done here in this work is to use the Opus 4.7 for it instead of the YQ to see the difference while it's being done here. Let's see. He produced this methodology.md. Very nice. And these are all the research report he got. And with that, all the sources where he checked. And he created the baseline of the base, the bull, and the bear case. Like NVIDIA monopoly persists but phase modest. The base scenario is already being a bit pessimistic. The 214 current stock price raised at 23% discount on the listing target of 297, reflecting near-term growth deceleration. Okay. Guys, the research deck is finished, and yeah, this was the result. Let's see how. Okay, the football field. You can keep adjusting it so it gets like in a better model. The idea is to become more or less like this. So yeah, it takes some time to adjust, guys. It's not gonna be perfect at the same time. And right now, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna ask Claude to redo the research, but now with the Opus 4.7, and see if it still maintains this sell-side recommendation. I felt it really went very far for the consensus, so you know, get like a more highlight into it. Now let's see the difference, guys. If it's gonna still maintain the sell side recommendation or if it's gonna change. And now, guys, it's done. Like he was running and paid attention to more details. And here are the main conclusions. It got a lot of more optimistic in comparison with the other model, with the Haiku. Maybe the Opus saw other things that the Haiku didn't see. But it changed dramatically the price. Like it's very next to the. It's still like a sell side recommendation, but it's very low side, -7%. It's like a slightly sell to keep to sell, but it got a bit more near the normal market price. Didn't get like so overly pessimistic as the Haiku. So yeah, like it automatically changed the Excel model. I'm gonna just check here if it also changed, because it's changing the Claude.md, the research MD. So let's check if it was also changed. It automatically changed because it's changing the scenario cells, these cells here. Well, very nice. Now I'm gonna ask like, what was the main insights the Opus got that the Haiku didn't? As a marker. While it answers, I'm gonna show guys the Excel file that was generated, the main Excel file, the first Excel file from the model. The idea right now is for you to keep adjusting it. I'm gonna put side by side the one I have. It's a lot more detailed, but because I took a lot more time to build it the way I wanted,
So there's like all these scenarios tab, ratio analysis. It took me a lot of time to do it. So the idea is to work in this Excel sheet that was generated. Probably if you guys prompt, it's gonna be also a different Excel sheet. But yeah, like you need to keep building in it. And well, let's see. Interesting differences. It read the price margin as well, not as run rate. It reframe what the growth driver actually represents. Yeah, what I see is like the Haiku did a much more generic. There's a factual error. Haiku sets buybacks as 10 billion a year. Actual backs were 40 billion. Okay, yeah, well, not only assumptions errors, but actually, you know, technical errors. It's as if it was a junior analyst analyzing and a more senior position as the Opus 4.7. So it's nice to catch these differences. Yeah, guys. For now that's it. I'm gonna make available the prompts, and the idea is for keep adjusting to make the Excel sheet the model you want, and you just ask Cloud like now do Apple, Amazon, Adobe, like any other company you want that he's gonna build and adapt it to it. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video.